Operation Spectre Rising was fully announced via a trailer today in which there's a lot to discuss, but we'll talk about all those little pieces you missed a little later in the video. And along with that trailer also came a full in-depth blog post over on Treyarch's website detailing everything, and at the same time, an hour-long live stream went live to showcase the new intel on the MP, Zombies, and Blackout content coming as of tomorrow and in the season. So in this, we're going to be breaking down absolutely everything, but before we jump into it, let me know right off the bat what you're looking forward to the most with this new operation. Are you looking forward to a new Blackout map rework, new Black Market rework, the new maps, the new weapons, camos, you name it? Let me know in the comments down below. Really interested to see where you're most excited here for out of this, but as well, we're going to be breaking down all of this and showcasing literally everything that changed and all the new content coming tomorrow and in the coming days to weeks. So maybe considering that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. You already know the deal. With 58% of you possibly not being subscribed, I want to make sure that I can fill in as many as I can consistently if you're interested. But let's get into it. First things first, a little prelude to this is that we're going to be focusing a lot on this blog post first and foremost, as there's more information that came out of that than the live stream, but we'll provide the relevant B-roll from either the trailer or also the actual live stream itself where we can to provide enough information about it. But I'm excited for tomorrow. Let's jump into it. First, and perhaps some of the biggest thing here that we end up getting out of this blog post is that we get front and center a new operation roadmap. With it, we see detailed a lot of things. Front and center, again, that focal point of the operation, that being Spectre, the new specialist in Black Ops 4's MP, as well as the Blackout update called Wetworks. We'll get to both of those in a second, but then we also end up seeing things in the way of new weaponry, the new black market items, uniforms, weapons, mastercrafts, and so on and so forth. We also see that Days of Summer is returning later on in the operation, and that's actually something of key importance which we'll discuss as well in depth a little more in the video, but it's going to offer new Blackout modes, new updates, new weaponry, and more listed there. For MP in particular, we end up seeing launching this week with the operation, we have Spectre, new weapons in a new and refined contraband stream, prop hunt, league play updates, and the gameplay tuning pass for weaponry. Then later in the event, we'll end up seeing Capture the Flag, new bare bones modes, Hacienda Twilight, which is another variation of the maps out there already, and additional modes to follow. As for Blackout, our launch will see the new Wetworks map update, the new Bounty Hunter mode, Alcatraz map improvements, which confirms that Alcatraz is not going away with the operation refresh, new characters, and new equipment of the Dart. In the season, we'll end up having Ground War, which is a 50-50 mode with friendly fire disabled, the attack helicopter introduced, which is presumably a new vehicle in the game, new weaponry, as well as more equipment and more coming along with that. Zombies will end up seeing the introduction of the Super Blood Wolf Moon Gauntlet with tomorrow's update on Dead of the Night, new weaponry in the box, and a rework to the classic Elixir restock. Additionally, in the season, we'll end up seeing the Labors of Hercules Gauntlet, Gauntlet leaderboards, and hard mode gauntlets, among other things. For Black Ops pass holders, you end up gaining access to the new Blackout character, Uncle Frank, who is Frank Woods from Black Ops 2 as an older man, even equipped with a respirator system and all. As well, you also end up getting access to the new maps of Masquerade, Artifact, and WMD. Now let's break this down a little further. Let's go into some MP here at this one. Again, Spectre is that brand new specialist that will be introduced to the game tomorrow. They've returned from Black Ops 3, but it's a little different this time around. This time, you'll end up having a smoke grenade as your specialist equipment, and this will allow you to throw it and then also see the enemies digitally through that smoke if they are in it. So it's the ultimate stealth killer piece. They showed it off a little bit in the trailer, to which you can see it on screen what we mean by that now, and certainly looks interesting. As for the weaponry, Spectre comes equipped with the Shadow Blade, which when activated, Spectre then switches to third-person perspective for a wider field of view of the battlefield. While using the blade, Spectre can roll and dodge incoming fire and enemy engagements and then jump at players to take them out with a single swipe. We don't exactly know how this will practically work just yet, but in theory, this reminds me a lot of like Synaptic from Infinite Warfare, and that did get annoying at times, so I guess we'll have to wait and see how it plays out, if it will be as annoying or if it will be a little more easy to counter or a little more balanced, whatever you want to call it. But as for game modes in MP, Prop Hunt is coming tomorrow. That's the launch mode for the new operation. Not much for the details out there are there as of yet. There were a few frames in the trailer, and apparently you can be some cool stuff. Matt Schranz ended up letting slip that you could be things like a palm tree coming up, so that'll be interesting for sure. Later on in the operation, we'll end up having Capture the Flag will be making its way into the game, and this was leaked ages ago, so it doesn't really surprise me, but what does surprise me is how long it has taken to get into the game after that. Regardless, I'm excited to relive the classic from the golden era and get some competitive matches in while playing. New weaponry is coming in the way of the contraband stream. We'll touch on the full black market restructuring and some things coming along with that as well after the Blackout features, but coming with tomorrow's update, we'll see 2 weapons for the time being, one being the Nifoati, pardon my probably terribly botched pronunciation of that, which is a melee weapon, as well as the Tiger Shark, which is a run and gun style LMG with faster than average reload times. So I'm definitely interested in getting my hands on these ones for sure. In the way of Black Ops past maps, you end up having firstly Masquerade, which is a happy aquatic festival in Bangladesh, with the backstory being that assassins have used the parade floats to try and open up the US Embassy. Looks like there's a lot of cool different features here at this one, but certainly, of course, among all the others, I'm excited to jump in and try these out. Same thing goes for Artifact. This is being a remote landscape of Iceland, but there are treasure hunters here looking for what Miles Leslie described was a zombies artifact, that being, of course, the statue of Odin. But then the backstory of this are, again, assassins came to try and clean up that crew and take the artifact for themselves. And then WMD is, of course, just the same old WMD we remember. The covert lab for weaponizing Nova 6 and all the historical lore that lay with it as well are returning in its former glory, and of course, that one in particular, I'm super excited to jump in and try out. As for League play, rounding out the MP side here, there's a few things coming. A new suspension system that compounds suspensions to temporarily ban players who leave or disconnect from matches, a new penalty increase to continually extend the penalty for leaving matches so players lose more points, and finally, the skill-based matchmaking improvements for lobbies and parties will be adjusted as of tomorrow's update. Curiously though, still no readjustment to the ladder system with an elo-based foundation. It still runs on that time played essentially, so it's not necessarily the best indicator of skill. As for Blackout, we end up seeing that we'll have with tomorrow's update the biggest thing, the Wetworks map adjustment. We see that in the trailer, Spectre ends up blowing up Hydro Dam and it floods a lot of the map. Some areas are more inundated than others, and some areas have more damage present than others, but it will definitely slightly alter the way that you play Blackout. You'll encounter blown out bridges, shin-high water that allows boats to navigate where previously you were beached and had land only, such as farms and factory. You'll see that cargo is knocked over with all the cargo crates floating like lily pads for players to navigate and get loot from. You'll end up seeing that Hijacked was knocked adrift all the way up to the point where it's beached above construction, and there's a lot that's changed here with the map, but I'm just excited to jump in and get my hands on with that. One thing that I will say is that it surely looks like it will change the meta. If you have a headset, make sure you're using your ability to hear, because that's going to be your advantage. While you can still walk, run, drive through the water and all things on those more so mainland areas, you'll also end up being able to hear the splish splash of the enemy footsteps, so be conscious of that. There's also going to be a brand new mode called Bounty Hunter, in which this is similar to Grand Heist's Hot Pursuit. Bounty Hunter will be that operation-themed mode in which you can drop in and try to find Spectre stashes around the map, which will hold the Shadow Blade among other things like level 3 armor, smoke, stealth-related perks, trauma kits, and more. When using the Shadow Blade and being the Hunter, you transform into the Spectre, who will give you the ability to go into third person, see digital footprints of nearby enemies, and also have increased movement speeds. It's an interesting little trade-off where you don't have anything other than a melee weapon, but I'm definitely intrigued and stoked to jump in and try it myself tomorrow. Additionally, with each new collapse, players with the most kills will be marked as bounty targets, hence the name of Bounty Hunter, that only Spectres then can see. If you eliminate the bounty, i.e. as Spectre killing the guy with the most kills, or survive the attack that Spectre is coming at you with, you'll end up getting a supply drop on your position. Later in the season, we'll also end up having Ground War, which is a 50v50 mode that takes out friendly fire, so if you're looking for pure and utter chaos, I think this is gonna be it, but I'm definitely excited to see where this will go, how it will play out, and how the community likes this. Also, if you want something for boosting up that win percentage, you're gonna have a 50% chance of winning with this one every time, so may as well try it out. Really looking forward to that one. Game modes like Down But Not Out will be returning in a revamped capacity, as well as things like Hot Pursuit may go away for now, but they'll be returning later on in the operation. Additionally, things like the Dart are going to be coming, in which that's going to be new equipment in Blackout as of tomorrow. One thing though is that it doesn't seem like you can detonate it, so it's more so just going to be used for a bird's eye view of scouting out an area. Definitely can be useful, but might not be as useful without that detonation to you, so just kind of have to balance it how you see fit. Later in the season, we'll end up getting the attack helicopter coming, which I'm assuming will just be like the AirRav, but for the air. Same premise of mounting an MG on it and flying it around. And then as for characters, we know that Blackjack, Sarah Hall from Black Ops 3, Sergey from Vorkuta and Black Ops 1, as well as Misty and David Mason will be coming to the game, but unfortunately, these are labeled as black market content. So that said, with these, probably all as special orders, or even maybe some in reserve cases outside of Uncle Frank, who's a Black Ops Pass character, let's jump over to the black market adjustments. Firstly, let's talk about that character of Misty. While she was prominently displayed all throughout Grand Heist, we end up seeing that her launches with tomorrow, the Operation, and the new Special Order refresh as well. She's the character that we'll see first, the others to follow. We don't exactly know what time or what order they'll be in, but they'll be there at some point. But as for the revamp to the system, let's start out with the tiers. Instead of 100 tiers in this contraband stream right up front like we've had the past couple, or I guess with Absolute Zero and then as well with Grand Heist, there are now 50 to start. The first half of the operation is going to be up front, and the second half probably when we hit that halfway point going into the event. Now, here's the thing. This seems like it's built for longevity to get people to come back for more content halfway through the operation, which is really cool in theory, and of course, I definitely think it has potential, but that's contingent on seeing 2 or 3 weapons introduced into the first half and then the second half each, so that we have double the weaponry or stuff that's equally worthwhile, and seeing that reciprocated on the second half as well. Take out some of those stickers, add in some cool camos, some Blackout characters, uniforms, weaponry, all that kind of stuff, and then you'll have a more worthwhile split to which you can end up having that people are definitely going to want to come back. But oppositely, if you end up seeing that stickers and nothing really else worthwhile are in that first half and then that second half, it's almost pointless to split it. So it just comes down to the execution. We'll also end up seeing that we get in that contraband stream Spectre at tier 1 as normal. We'll also see that melee weapon and the Tiger Shark coming in the tiers tomorrow as well, but we don't know what exactly those will be. Probably 25 and 50. But there will also be new contents added to reserves, such as the way of new signature weapons for the Rampage, the Vapor, the Switchblade, and the Spitfire, new gestures for those that utilize them, new death effects, which is something that's brand new. That's something that sounds interesting, but I'm not entirely sure how much I'll personally use them. They give an example of the Make It Rain effect, where money will shoot out of a dead body. The Surprise Party will add a dash of confetti to the body, and then things like the Pyrotechnic will be fireworks whenever you get that kill. Those are the only ones listed, so they shouldn't really clutter up the reserves too much, but certainly interesting to hear about. Weapon charms are being added in, and again, this is something that I again need to see a little bit of how it's introduced before I get either frustrated or say it's pretty cool. Because potentially it's something small that could be another layer of customization for players, but equally as possible, it could be something that no one will really care about and that will be introduced in large quantities and muddy the loot pool. New outfits are in the game, including the Silver Bullet Seraph outfit, as well as the Hired Gun for Ajax. We see a lot of those actually in the brand new trailer for this. New Mastercrafts called the Lost Patrol for the SDM and the Venom Cocktail for the Hades are going to be available in Blackjack's shop, not in reserves. And then also new reactive camos will be in reserves, such as the return of the Afterlife camo from Black Ops 2, as well as in the Blackjack shop, the Nebula reactive camo will be coming later in the operation. Finally, closing out the blog post and the information that we got today with some zombies, the new classic elixir restock will be a feature that ensures that you never have an empty elixir slot during a zombies match. If you use up an elixir during a match, the empty slot will then be replaced by a classic elixir instead of just being empty. And again, additionally, things like gauntlet friend leaderboards as well as hard mode gauntlets will be introduced at a later point. But that is everything here that was detailed today, and quite a bit up front, if I may say so myself. It makes going into tomorrow with a little bit more of an idea of what to tackle from not only a player perspective, but from a creator perspective, what to showcase the most here coming out of tomorrow. So that said, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Is there anything in particular that you're really looking forward to? Again, are you looking forward to the new Blackout update, the new weapons, whatever it may be? I'm excited for all of it, so it's going to be a big day tomorrow. Hopefully you guys are excited. If you enjoyed the video though, make sure to drop a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and want to stay up to date with all things Black Ops 4, MP, Blackout, Zombies. We got you covered with all that. And of course, with Operation 4 rolling on as of tomorrow, we got a lot to talk about. So if you're interested in any of that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, there's the best place to get kind of thoughts out of YouTube. Practically live on both those. If you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. Well, let's head now to what I thank you guys all so much for watching. Mine is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.